Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan2x10 on Xbox Live, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live in WWE this past week. So, let's go on to Monday Night Raw's Good, Bad, and Ugly. But before I do, let me just explain the rules. And the rules are I go through the good parts, the bad parts, and the ugly parts of Raw and SmackDown Live. And the good parts are one good part that happened on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. The bad parts are the bad parts that happened on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. And finally, the ugly parts are the ugly parts that happened on Monday Night Raw. And the ugly parts are they're not good, they're not bad. There was just the part that were like meh. And now, with that being said, let's get on with the good stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw the last week. And we'll do that now. Three, 2, 1, go. And the good thing to happen for Monday Night Raw this last week was indeed, well, a very special, shocking return. Now, I'm just going to get to that in a minute, as we went for a really good Raw itself. And at the very end, as we came to celebrate the Nature Boy's 70th birthday. That's right, Ric Flair is 70 years old this year. And so on Monday Night Raw, they said they built up all this hype to show Ric Flair's birthday. And that was really good and whatnot. And obviously you can see on the little the little tag of what it is. But that bit was so good. And let me just tell you, Batista returning on Monday Night Raw was amazing. I didn't expect that, I'm gonna admit. And it was just, even if it was like for 1 minute on screen. Now let me go through what happened. What happened was, as I was saying, it was Ric Flair's 70th birthday. And we had Triple H and Stephanie come down to ringside, to the ring, with the WWE roster on the stage. And they're all ready to celebrate Ric Flair's birthday. They had a cake there, they had balloons, they even had a special customized WCW World Heavyweight Championship belt that had all the people that he beat for that championship, and all of his best opponents that he's had on the side plates. And that was quite nice of them. I even thought maybe that Charlotte was going to come out at one point, but she did not, to celebrate her dad's 70th birthday. But again, she did not. So let's so we had like all these special guests that I supposedly was going to celebrate and wish Ric Flair a happy birthday. I mean, our first person that Triple H introduced us to was the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, the guy that retired Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24, I think it was. Yes, he was his best friend, Shawn Michaels, so he came out first. Then Triple H introduced us to one of Ric Flair's greatest competitors and rivals, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who came out chopping almost anybody that he could see on the way there, including Seth Rollins, that sold the hell out of that chop. That was wonderful. Then we had, last but not least, the man they call Sting, the WWE Hall of Famer himself, came out. And so they were all in the ring, and then Triple H says, well, we can't have a birthday celebration without the man himself, so without further ado, here is Ric Flair! And of course, his music began to play and went woo, and dun dun dun, and like it was playing. The camera was facing the stage, and everyone was clapping, and it was like, huh? Wait, where's Flair? Where's Rick? Is he starting and profiling backstage? Is he having some fun with that lovely lady that he brought with him, to taking her to splash to Space Mountain? No. It was the complete opposite. It was the complete opposite. He was not having fun. In fact, he went backstage to Batista, dragging a cameraman to Ric Flair's locker room. He kicked that door, bashed that door open, shut the door behind him. Shut the door behind him, and we just heard the initial push. Just noises coming from Ric Flair's locker room to say as if Batista was beating up Ric Flair, and then the door opened again, and he saw Batista dragging Ric Flair and his life in the slip body. He obviously beat up the 70-year-old Hall of Famer, two-time Hall of Famer, the dastardly bastard. He's gone, don't turn heel. He turned heel again turned heel once again by beating up his former mentor Ric Flair on his 70th birthday. And he looked down the camera and he said, "Hunter, have I got your attention now?" And then down comes Triple H to come and check on, obviously maybe to hopefully get his hands on Batista, but he was nowhere to be. He obviously left before he can get there, and he was like checking on Ric Flair, that had been beaten up senseless by Batista, that no good son of a bitch, beating up a 70-year-old man. But regardless if he was beating up Ric Flair or not, and to get Triple H's attention for maybe one more last match against Triple H at WrestleMania, it was awesome. It was amazing. I enjoyed that segment completely. So, yes, Batista returning to Monday Night Raw was brilliant. I can't wait to see what happens in this. I'm about to watch Monday Night Raw after this recording that just recently happened, yesterday's Raw. But this Raw that I'm describing now was last week's Raw, which I was going to give to you a little bit earlier, but never had a chance to, and so I'm doing it now. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to the bad thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, and we're going to do that now. And the bad thing that happened on Monday Night Raw this week was a little bit earlier, before that whole Batista return thing happened, and that was Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley segment. Now, earlier before that match happened, Lio Rush interrupted the moment of bliss, where Finn Balor was the special guest of the moment of bliss, and she was gonna, do something to do or say something sexy for Finn Balor, and Corey Graves lost his mind and shit like that, and so therefore he was like, if Lio Rush is like, I'll get to the Braun Strowman segment in a minute, and then I'll explain why that was bad. They was going backwards and forwards to saying, Finn Balor was like, if you think that you're saying that you deserve the title match and all this and all that, I said some other stuff which I can't remember, but anyway, there was an Intercontinental Championship match between Lio Rush and Finn Balor. Finn Balor retained the title, and then a little bit later on the night, Bobby Lashley said, "You weren't supposed to get your match again, an Intercontinental Championship match. You're supposed to get one from me." And so then he went out there and he was supposed to face Braun Strowman. But that match never got started because Braun Strowman, being Braun Strowman, just ended up beating up Bobby Lashley before the match started. And like a few minutes later, it was the beatdown was over. And like, okay, what was the point of all that? I mean, it was stupid in my opinion. They could have at least did it so that he squashed him in minutes in the matchup, but nothing came of it. Nothing happened, and so we just saw Bobby Lashley being beat up by Braun Strowman before the match began. So, yeah, that was pretty much the bad thing, was the whole Bobby Lashley and, of course, Braun Strowman segment where Bobby Lashley got beat up by Braun Strowman. But usually I like a good beatdown from Braun Strowman, but lately he's not being used in the right way as a monster, and so I just lost all interest in this whole Braun Strowman being a monster type thing. So yeah, that was the reason why it was bad in my opinion. It's because they could have did a little bit better, but they didn't. It was just another silly beatdown that I don't know where it's gonna lead to. Maybe a match against Bobby Lashley in the future, and maybe next week on Raw, or if it already happened on Monday, this past Monday, but I don't know. It was just bad in my opinion. So with that being said, we're gonna get on to the ugly thing that happened on Monday Night Raw this week, and we're gonna do that now. And the ugly thing that came from Monday Night Raw this week was indeed Ronda Rousey and Natalya. This is the Riot Squad. This is how boring that match was. I couldn't even pay full attention to it, to be honest, because it was just another victory for Ronda Rousey against the Riot Squad. And the Riot Squad, god damn it, they started off so good in the WWE, but now they're just getting treated like jobbers, and it's for Ronda Rousey to beat them up. And I want to see the Riot Squad cause a riot, not to be, beaten up in like minutes. It's like, what happened to the women's revolution? Is my questions. Why are we having squash matches with, like, I know it wasn't a squash match, but why are we having short tag team matches with the Riot Squad and Natalya taking on the Riot Squad, and nothing coming from the Riot Squad's point of view? And the fact that, yes, I know the Riot Squad were in that Elimination Chamber match for the Women's Championship, but that was the only good thing to come from the Riot Squad lately, and it's just not good. I think it's starting to go back downhill. Apart from they have those big matches, and they are going to main event WrestleMania this year. Apart from that, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, the women's matches are not as good as I want them to be. I mean, you've got things like Bayley and Nia Jax, and even that was a bit ugly. I mean, come on, WWE, make us want to be interested in the women's division. Like, don't just hand out championship matches all free willy-nilly. It's not very good to see that. But with that being said, that contains the good, bad, and ugly moments from last week's Raw, and we're gonna move on to the good, bad, and ugly stuff from SmackDown Live. And we're gonna do that now. And the good thing to happen for SmackDown Live this week, well, of course, was absolutely wonderful! Yes! As, well, Sheamus and Cesaro were absolutely deleted! And they became obsolete! As we saw the return of the Hardy Boys. Is it the V1? Yeah, Team Extreme, maybe. Back on WWE on SmackDown Live, and of course, we were wondering, the fans were wondering why Matt Hardy was half broken and half Matt Hardy. Well, he did explain that on his YouTube channel, and that's because he's gotten control of the whole woken gimmick. He's gotten control of a broken Matt Hardy, and he has now got control over the extreme Matt Hardy. He's got control over Matt Hardy V1, and of course he's got control of this is original Matt Hardy, himself. But there's also, I recently saw a video of this brand new phase that may be very interesting to find out how that goes. So we got multiple personality disorder coming from Matt Hardy, and this gimmick looks like it's gonna be a good one. They beat the Bar, and it may end up facing the Usos for SmackDown Live Tag Team titles soon. But I think Matt Hardy has got one more run in him, and this run is going to contain every single Matt Hardy that we've seen in the past, plus one brand new one. So we're gonna have the rich Matt Hardy that I saw on his little YouTube channel. We're gonna see the Team Extreme Matt Hardy with Jeff, his brother Jeff. We're gonna see Matt Hardy V1. We're gonna see the woken brilliance of Matt Hardy. So yes, rich, woken, Team Extreme, and of course Matt Hardy version 1, and then of course there's this new one which will be very interesting to see that one. So we don't know what Matt Hardy we're gonna see next, and so it's good to see the Hardy Boys return, and hopefully they will make the entire SmackDown Live roster obsolete and delete the Usos, or even maybe delete the McMiz as the winner of that match that happens at Fastlane. I believe the Hardys will go after them. So that was the good thing to come from SmackDown Live. And of course, I got the bad thing to come from SmackDown Live, and that will come. And the bad thing to come from SmackDown Live this week was the very beginning of the show. We had, let me just say, was that Kevin Owens replaced your boy Kofi Kingston in the matchup at Fastlane for the WWE Championship. When everyone witnessed Kofi Kingston being the Iron Man in that Elimination Chamber match, wanting to see Kofi Kingston face Daniel Bryan in that one-on-one situation at Fastlane, the Authority gave it to us but then the Authority take it away as Mr. McMahon comes down during the contract signing between Kofi Kingston and new Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's already signed his little contract away, and after showing the package of what Kofi Kingston has gone through over these last 11 years, yes, yeah, you heard me, Kofi Kingston debuted in 2008, so therefore it's been 11 years since we've seen Kofi Kingston. But in action and winning the United States Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, and even the tag team titles. He just needs to win one more title to become a Grand Slam champion, and that is the WWE Championship. But who takes away that opportunity? By God, there's that man who got no chance in hell of becoming WWE Champion, Kofi. I mean, you're good, you're brilliant, but we need someone better. We need someone that's 10 times better than you. Someone that's got more talent. Someone like Kevin Owens. That's what he basically said on SmackDown Live. And I was confused and annoyed at the same time. Wasn't exactly cheering, wasn't booing him. The fans were doing the exact same thing. Cheering on Kevin Owens because he's back, but booing Mr. McMahon for replacing him in the Fastlane match. So now I'm got confused. It is confusion everywhere. So, and then later on in the night, he said, look, I admit that, I admit that Kofi deserves this chance to be in the main event. But, so with that being said, I would like to team with Kofi Kingston tonight and to take on Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. And to be fair, as much as I didn't like the whole Kevin Owens replacing him at Fastlane, the match itself was okay. It was pretty good. It worked pretty damn well as a team. So Kevin Owens, a babyface, that's good. Him teaming up with Kofi and actually got on nicely, that's also good. But him replacing Kofi Kingston at Fastlane, that's bad. So kind of got mixed feelings about it. But overall, my feelings about him replacing it are really, really bad. And I got this strange feeling that may give Kofi Kingston a chance to actually go into WrestleMania regardless. And I think he'll just end up facing the winner of that match anyway. So, swings and roundabouts. But that was the bad thing that happened on SmackDown Live this past week. So that we had the good thing, which of course was the Hardy Boys returning, and the bad thing, which was Kevin Owens replacing Kofi Kingston. But let's move on to the ugly thing that happened on SmackDown Live, and we're going to do that now. Ugly thing to happen on SmackDown Live this week was just Charlotte Flair's promo. Yes, I can understand, I can understand that she was going on saying that about how Ronda Rousey had a promo after the matchup with the Riot Squad, and because Becky Lynch got involved in that, I forgot to mention that earlier, and it caused the disqualification, and then Ronda Rousey had enough and said that Vince McMahon, said to the Authority, can you please reinstate Becky and get this match done? But of course Stephanie said no, we can't. She's been arrested and all that type of stuff, and Ronda Rousey laid down the title. So Charlotte Flair on SmackDown Live then came and said, well, if you're not willing to be the champion, I can be your champion. I will never lay down that championship. I will be a fighting champion and all that type of stuff. Just boring shit like that. But one thing that didn't get me is that we didn't get a a real recap of what went down on Raw and to see if Ric Flair's okay. I mean, that's her father. I mean, I don't care if she is a heel. She can at least say, oh, by the way, my dad's doing fine. Thank you very much. Like, she could have said it in a sarcastic way. Like, she could have said it in a way like, well, thank you very much for supporting my dad. Not that this moment is about him. Like, she could have done anything to still be a heel, like care but not care. Like she could have said, oh, not that it matters, but yeah, my dad's doing fine, thanks. To be fair, Batista didn't exactly finish the job. Like, she could have been a heel, because she is a heel. She's 100% a heel. She could have said something nasty to say, oh, you know, but my dad is doing alright, thanks, but hey, Batista, you could have finished the job. Just say something like that, for example, you know, to make us want to hate her. But no, she just rambled on about how she would be the true champion and, you know, wouldn't lay down the belt like that. And, you know, her promos are getting more boring as the weeks go by. So I really hope that something good happens. You know, when hopefully Becky Lynch shuts her up for good and beats her up even more and becomes the Raw Women's Champion, and we have maybe the Superstar Shake-Up after that, where Becky Lynch goes back to Raw. So, with that being said, that was the good, the bad, and the ugly for SmackDown Live, and not only that, it was the good, bad, and ugly for Monday Night Raw as well. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. What did you think of Raw and SmackDown Live last week? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it ugly? And I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan2x10 on Xbox Live. And until next time, we have another good, bad, and ugly. Bye bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.